Hi there, I'm Rebecca and a really warm welcome back to my channel, PumpkinBecki. In this week's video we're going to be sowing some seeds, some Sempervivum seeds. Let's get started. So as obsessed by Sempervivum as I am, I've never tried to grow them from commercially produced seed. Sometimes I have taken seed heads and tried to scatter seed. You know, I don't know if they're viable or not, and to be honest I've got so many Sempervivum I can't really tell whether they came up or not. So we are going to sow some of these seeds into an isolated tray and I will know whether I have any chance of growing these things from seed or not. The disadvantage of growing from seed is that they tend to come in a mixed variety pack, so you don't know what you're getting. And although in the past I have bought named varieties of plants, they hybridise. My blackbirds like to pick them out of the pots and then mix them all up in a big jumble, and I have no idea what I've got. And they are so similar, some of them. I've spent many an hour sitting with a big pile of things that the blackbirds pulled out, trying to distinguish one plant from another. They are beautiful. I adore them, you know this. But sometimes the differences between varieties are so minute and you can get a bit blind to it. It's really hard. Anywho, we are going to go ahead and get these sown. It does say April to June. It is now mid-May, so perfect. And if they don't come up, if something goes wrong, I've got time to try again. This particular packet of seeds is from King's Seeds. They are an awesome company based in Colchester in Essex here in the UK, and they have two branches to their company. They have King's Seeds, which does fruit and veg and also flowers and flowering plants, and they also have what's it called, Suffolk Herbs, which is their sort of branch off and is specifically herbs. And you will find some really unusual varieties of things here, things that you can't normally buy if you just walk into a normal garden centre and look at their seed packets. So going to some of these more specialised seed companies is really worthwhile. The information on the packet is sparse, yeah. I guess in this day and age you're probably going to have looked it up on the internet anyway. But so when to sow is April to June. Good. Where to sow? In a greenhouse. At 18 to 20 degrees C. It's more like 1,000 degrees in here today, which is strange because it's quite cool outside. There's a lovely breeze. So when I finish filming I will open the door again and it will drop the temperature in here. When to transplant? When the seedlings are large enough to handle, prick out to 5 centimetres apart and plant out in September, October time. And you sow them by September next year. And I probably bought these a couple of months ago, so they're giving you about sort of 18 months, I suppose, to get these sown. And there are 200 seeds. I'm going to be sowing into this tray which had last year some annual verbena in them. They're really great for using as little seed trays. They don't take up huge amounts of room, and if you're only doing a small batch of something, I mean 200 seeds is not a small batch, I won't be sowing all of them. I'd like to give myself a second chance if something goes wrong, as I said. But I love these, and I also sow things into the more plug plant style containers. These ones are from B&Q and they're green, they are recyclable. B&Q, again, not sponsored, and I know I talk about them a lot, but they are ahead of the game. I was watching Gardener's World from last week, I think, and the week before, and they were talking so much about how there's going to be a ban on using peat in compost that is available to public to buy, so bagged compost, and that comes in next year. Brilliant, about time too. Yes, let's do that now. And I don't know, they were just making it sound like it was such an effort. Everybody was going to have to change their mindset on how they grew things. I just use peat-free compost like any other compost. There's no great mystery about it. Just do it. I actually find it harder to grow in peat than I do in peat-free. I have some stunning carnivorous plants right beside me, which you can just about see. My Sarracenia iron flower, I will turn the camera and give you a shot of that. They're in peat-free compost. These are peat bog plants. They don't mind. So, I mean, come on. We can do this. And you know, and I've said this in lots of videos, B&Q, again, they're ahead of the game. They have been planting their annuals and, in fact, now perennials as well that you can buy. The hawthorn I bought a couple of weeks ago, that was in peat-free compost. Their annuals are in peat-free compost. Yes, whoever their nursery is, good for them. Brilliant. And I picked up a bag of seed and cutting compost so that I could get some seed sown this year. And I thought, oh, seed and cutting compost, it's usually got peat in it. Oh. And I looked at the bag of Verve from B&Q, a seed and cutting compost. It is peat-free. Peat-free! Yes! Thank you, B&Q. Again, I am not sponsored, but wow. Yes. So do you know, you might not think of B&Q as a garden centre, but they are actually ahead of the competition in so many ways. And they have really awesome plants, beautifully grown. And yes, all right, you will find ones that have died because they've not been watered, but you will also find an awful lot of bargain plants, which I've shown you over the years. The narcissus I bought in pots were brilliant, and they were half price. I have bought trees for silly money. Just, yeah. Wow, that turned into a rant, didn't it? Okay, so the main point is that not only am I using reused tray, which is recyclable, I am also going to be using a peat-free seed and cutting compost, which is brilliant. And here's a little shot of their seed and cutting compost. It's very sandy, light. I can't see on the bag if it says what's actually in it, but it feels like a really finely ground coir. It's very light and fluffy. I'm just showing you a tray of seeds that I sowed a couple of weeks ago. I've got at the end here, I've got statice, I've got lots of sunflowers, and I've got some alyssum at the end here. Everything is really happy and desperately needs potting on to the next step, but they're brilliant. Yes, I popped a little bit of vermiculite on the top instead of covering it with compost. That's an experiment for me. I've never used vermiculite like that before. Yeah. I mean, look at those statice. So many seedlings, they are so ready for pricking out. This is not going to be rocket science. We are going to literally fill a tray with the compost. Any big clumps break down really nicely. These also shouldn't need a huge amount of compost. So I'm not going to worry about filling this all the way. There's a little bit of grit in here as well, so that's going to be helping with drainage. Gently firmed in, just a little layer there, just maybe over halfway full, really only a few centimetres, no, less than that even, a couple of centimetres of compost. Now, I'm not really sure how big these seed are, so I'm just going to try and make sure there's nothing at the top here when I open the packet. Oh! They must be tiny. Because inside the foil packet is a little tiny mylar packet. Oh my gosh. They are like grains of sand. Smaller than that. Maybe I can sew all 200 in here. Wow. Okay, those are minute. Well, we're going to be doing this super carefully, aren't we? Hello, spider. What are you doing? Can you go that way? I've just done a very quick search on the internet to see if there is a consensus on how to sow Sempervivum seeds. So this is new to me. They suggest covering with something, but there's no consensus on what that needs to be. It could be vermiculite, it could be perlite, there we go, it could be sand, and actually I'm thinking this is such a lovely light mixture, maybe it could even just be a tiny scattering of this. It sounds like it only needs to be very thin, so we're going to stick with that. So here's our little packet with our 200 seeds. I am sort of thinking, as these are quite sticky, in that they're so tiny, they just want to stick to your skin. I'm not going to try and sprinkle them, I'm going to try and do it from this packet, and this could be disastrous, but you can start to see them coming down. Just very gentle taps. That's my little packet empty. They're in there. I have got a bonsai sieve. It's still quite coarse, but it might help stop any big chunks getting through. I've got a feeling that's enough. I'm now just sitting this in a tray, and I can add some water to this. I've got this little rose attachment that I can screw onto any old plastic bottle, and it's got quite a nice fine rain to it. I mean, these seeds shouldn't go anywhere now they're in here. I've added some water to the tray, which is actually sort of sitting in the dips of this water tray. It's got a sort of sculpted bottom. So really what that's going to do is help with a bit of humidity rather than actually wetting the compost anymore. And from now on I'm not going to water from above, I will only water from beneath. That's going to help prevent things like damping off. So now I'm just going to pop this up onto the top shelf of my greenhouse, keep an eye on it, and I'll keep you posted. Right, well that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to me here on YouTube. And until next time, bye!